Go.
Today is Genesis 17, Ezekiel. This is the sign of the covenant. When Abram was 90 years old, the Lord appeared.
99 years old.
You're right, 99 years old. The Lord appeared to Abram and said to him,
Mine says old. Oh.
Okay, I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless. Verse 2, and I will make my covenant between me and you, and will make you exceedingly numerous. Read verse 3, Ezekiel.
Verse 3 says, Abraham, then Abram fell on his face, and God said to him,
Verse 4, as for me,
no, behold,
this is my covenant with you. You shall be the ancestor of a multitude of nations. Verse 5, no longer shall your name be Abram, but your name shall be
Abraham.
That's where he changes it, baby. For I have made you the ancestor of a multitude of nations. Verse 6, I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come from you. Verse 7, I will establish my covenant between me and you, and your offspring, and you throughout their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your offspring after you. Verse 8, and I will give to you and to your offspring after you the land where you are now an alien, all the land of Canaan, for a perpetual holding.
Canaan is the one who was laughing at Noah.
That's Noah's grandson, Seth's son, and he was the one, or Ham's son, I think. That's the one that was laughing at Noah, but it's also the name of the land where Abraham is right now. Okay, the name of the place, like Long Beach. We're in the city of Long Beach. Okay, the name of the place where Abraham is Canaan. Okay, that's also the son of, just like Washington, Ziki, it's our capital, the capital of our country, Washington. It's also the name of our first president, Washington. Okay, Canaan, the name of Noah's grandson. It's also the place where Abraham is. Okay, so God's promising that land where Abraham is for a perpetual holding, and I will be their God. Okay? Verse 9, God said to Abram, as for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your offspring after you.
Point to me when you see a descendant.
Throughout their generations. Read verse 10.
No, I said to point at me at descendants.
Descendants, if I see the word descendants, you want to read it? Okay. Verse 10.
No, read verse. Yeah, you read that.
Okay.
If you see it.
Verse 10. This is my covenant.
And your descendants.
Okay.
I saw descendants.
Okay. Verse 10. This is my covenant, which you shall keep between me and you, and your offspring after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. Verse 11. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you. Verse 12. Throughout your generations, every male among you shall be circumcised when he is 8 years old,
8 years
including the slave born in your house, and the one brought
Or
with
if
you
he is 8 years
with your money
old.
from any foreigner who is not of your offspring. Do you know what circumcised means?
No.
Okay. Manny just had that done when he was baby. Zeke had that done with the baby. Okay. That's the skin of your itlog. Okay. Usually itlog, it has a big skin around it. Okay. Zeke's itlog, Dada's itlog, and Manny's itlog, it's cut off the skin because when we're babies, all of us, the doctor cut the skin off. Okay.
Why?
It's for sanitation, so germs don't get in there, so it doesn't get dirty. It's easy to keep clean. But in Abraham's day, they did it when the children were 8 years old. Okay, so it was very painful back then. Verse 12. Throughout your generations, every male among you shall be circumcised when he is 8 years old, including the slave born in your house, and the one born with your money from any foreigner who's not your offspring.
8 days old. 8 days old.
Oh, you're right, not 8 years old, 8 days old. So it's the same thing. It's when they're babies. Yeah. Dada read it wrong. I thought it was 8 years old. Good catch, Zeke. Verse 13. Both the slave born in your house and the one brought with the money must be circumcised. So shall my covenant be in your flesh, an everlasting covenant. Okay? So what was the sign of the covenant, the promise between God and Abraham? It's all his children and his offspring are circumcised. That's the sign of the covenant. What's the sign of the covenant with Noah?
Oh, the stars.
That was the other covenant with Abraham. Okay, this covenant, it's circumcision. And the before, when they talked about covenant with Abraham, it was the stars in the sky. How about Noah? Remember, the earth will never again flood. What's the sign of the covenant?
No, Dada. Abraham wasn't looking at the stars. It was Noah.
No. Okay, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna take time to show you, but that was Abraham. God said, "Your generation will be as numerous as the stars in heaven." That was Abram. Okay, that was Abram. Okay, and maybe Genesis 12 or something. Okay, I don't remember exactly. Okay, Noah, it was the rainbow. Remember? The rainbow. The rainbow was the promise that God will never flood the earth again. Okay?
But Noah did something.
Abram, it was the stars. Okay? Your generations will be as numerous as these stars in heaven.
But Noah did something foolish.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He drank alcohol. He drank too much. He drank enough to where he got naked in his tent, and then his grandson Canaan was making fun of him.
Is he going to say sorry to God?
Yes, he did. He said sorry already. Okay, so let's keep reading. Verse 15. God said to Abraham, "As for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her Sarai, but Sarah." That's where God changed it from Sarai to Sarah. Shall be her name. Verse 16.
That's like my grandma said.
Yeah, like Grandma Sarah, Dada's mama. Okay, verse 16.
No, mine.
That's your grandma. That's Dada's mama. Sarah is Dada's mama. Your mama is our chill. Verse 16. I will bless her, and moreover, I will...
Mama is Mama.
Mama's name is our chill.
But how about her mom?
Her mama's name is Gloria.
Who's Gloria?
That's your grandma in Philippines. That's mama's mama. Okay?
Did she die?
No, she's alive. You talked to her on FaceTime. Okay, come on. Let's focus. Let's keep reading. Okay? Verse 16, I will bless her, and moreover, I will give her a son. I will bless her, and she will give rise to nations. Kings and peoples shall come from her. Verse 17, then Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said to himself, Can a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? Can Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? That's what Abraham's thinking, not. But with God, all things are possible.
No,
Verse 18.
No.
And Verse 18. And Abraham said to God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live in your sight." Abraham did not have faith that Sarah was going to have a baby. Remember, because Ishmael was born of Hagar. Verse 19, God said, "No, no, but your wife Sarah shall bear you a son. And you shall name him." What's the name of Sarah's son? Sarah and Abraham's son? Huh?
Ishmael.
No, that's Hagar's son. Isaac. Yes. Keep following along. "I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him." Verse 20. "As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will bless him and make him fruitful and exceedingly numerous. He shall be the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation." Verse 21. "But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear to you."
Wait, Dada.
Okay, baby, turn quickly. We got a lot of worship. Come on. Okay, you see your space? Your spot?
No.
"To you at this season of the year." Verse 22. You see verse 22? "And when he had finished talking with him, God went to Abraham." Verse 23. "Then Abraham took his son Ishmael and all the slaves born in his house."
No, how about Isaac?
Okay, they're talking about Ishmael in verse 23. Let's focus on verse 23. Don't chew on that, son. Don't pull on that. You're going to wreck the Bible, son. Okay, be very careful with that Bible. Okay? "Then Abraham took his son Ishmael and all the slaves born in his house or brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskins that very day, as God had told him." Verse 24, "Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin." Yes. Because God gave that covenant when Abraham was 99 years old. That's when it started. And from then on, at 8 days old, they circumcised the kids. I thought it was 8 years, but Zeke corrected me. He said, "No, Dada, that's 8 days." Verse 25, "And his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin." Verse 26,
That's like verse 25.
Yep. Verse 20.
Was 25.
You want me to read 25 again? Okay. "And his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin." Verse 26.
13 years old?
He was 13 years old. Can you imagine? Remember when your ilug was getting sprayed yesterday and it hurt? Okay, just water spraying your ilug. Imagine your skin around your ilug being cut off. Okay? That's very painful. Okay? At 13 years old. When you're a baby, at least they give you some sugar and you don't feel it as much. 13, it's very painful. Okay? Verse 20. Yes.
Yesterday it was hurting.
Yeah, it was hurting a little, the water. Yeah, when Dada was spraying you off.
Because the poop all over.
Yeah, you had poop all over. Dada was hosing you down. Yeah, and it was a little painful.
Was she really mad, Mama?
No,
What?
No. Remember the first time? It was the second time, baby. It was the second time you were in a little trouble because you're 5 years old now. Okay, the first time, it was an accident. Okay? But then the second time, we're saying, hey, you need to be responsible. You're 5 years old. Okay? If you have to go, you go to the comfort room. Okay? Verse 26, son. Okay, let's focus on what we're doing. Don't turn back, son. Okay, focus on what you're doing. Verse 26. That very day, Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised. Verse 27. And all the men of his house, slaves born in the house, and those bought with money from the foreigner, were circumcised with him. Okay? That's the end of that section, son. You have any question?
No.
That's the end of Genesis 17.
So it's 15